Hi everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back. In this video, I am getting my house all ready for spring, so I'm going to be creating not one, not two, but three beautiful new Easter signs for this Easter holiday. So in this video, we are going to be creating two signs with adhesive vinyl and then one sign with HTV or iron-on, and I'm really excited to show you the designs that we are going to be doing today. I'm going to walk you through each of the crafts and their designs step by step today so that you can be able to recreate any of these looks at your own craft table. As always, be sure to pop down into the comments and let me know if you've already started decorating for Easter, and please let me know if you have a favorite sign that I did here today and which one ended up being your favorite, or if all three of them did. I'll also be sure to link all of the materials that I use in the description box below, just in case you're inspired to recreate any of these signs at your own craft table. All right, let's go ahead and hop into Design Space and begin working on our first sign.
Okay, so for my first sign, I am going to come over to Shapes, and I'm just going to recreate the size of my sign so that I can get my sizing of my design just right. So I have a sign that inside of the frame is 8.5 by 8.5, and I'll just make this white. And then I'm going to use one of the bunnies from this little bunny set. So I found this over in the image. It's just called Bunny Set if you type that into the search engine. So what I'm going to do is I am going to first of all say send to front, and then I am going to only use one of the bunnies. So I like the little teal one, so I'm going to just click on the eyeball next to the ones that I do not want to use, and then I am left with the one that I am going to use. I really like this as is, but I'm using a pattern for my material, so I'm going to actually contour out this eye because I don't want the eye to get lost in the pattern, so I'm not really sure if it's really needed. So what I'm going to do is just click on it, say contour in the bottom right corner, and I'm going to click on the eye to remove it, and then I'll just click X, and then you'll see that it's removed. Then I can bring this right onto my sign and size it accordingly, which I think right about there will be just fine. I'm going to go ahead and use my maker for this particular one, and then I'm going to hide the square because I no longer need it. I'll go ahead and say make it, and I'm actually going to use an iron-on for this, so I am going to mirror the image, and then I'm going to browse all materials, and I am just going to use patterned iron-on. Then I will say done, and I will load my mat.
Okay, so I have my patterned iron-on, and I'm going to place it shiny side or patterned side down on the mat. And also remember that I did mirror my image. So I'm just going to make sure that that lays nice and flat onto my mat. You can use your Cricut Explorer Air 2, or you can use your maker for this. This particular design is too big for the Joy. So now I'm going to go ahead and load this in and press go. Okay, that is already done, so I can unload my mat and then peel off my material. And then what I can do is just trim off my extra iron-on. So for this particular sign, I am going to be doing a reverse canvas. Now I have a tutorial on how to do a reverse canvas from start to finish, so I will link that up in the corner in case you would like a full tutorial on how to deconstruct the canvas and get it all prepped and ready to go. So it's already deconstructed because I wanted to make sure that it had a nice stain on the frame. So now what I can do is I'm going to preheat my Easy Press, and I'm going to preheat it to 340. And then while it's preheating, I can weed out my design. So I love this pattern vinyl. It's so pretty, and I think it's going to look really, really cute on a outline of an animal. I really like doing animals with a print on them. I think that's just a really fun way to just make it fun, I guess. And then I just have two little insides for the ears, and then I am all ready to go. So here is our little bunny that will go right inside this little frame here. That's so cute. So we're going to actually iron it onto the canvas material, and then I'm going to grab my Easy Press mat so that we have something to place it under during pressing. So my press is all preheated, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just preheat my canvas. So I like to place a little piece of parchment paper over my canvas, and I'll just preheat for about 5 seconds just to make sure that it's all prepped and ready to go. Okay, now what I will do is go ahead and place my design right on my canvas. And then I like to take my frame and just make sure that I have the design where I'd like it. So that is all ready to go. Then I'm going to place my parchment paper right back over and then take my press, and I'm going to press for 30 seconds at 340 degrees. Okay, now this is going to be a cool peel, so I'm going to remove my press, and then I am going to just take this off, and I'm going to let it cool down. Actually, while that's cooling down, I'm going to flip it over, I forgot, and I'm going to press for an additional 15 seconds on the back. Okay, so that was 15 seconds on the back. And then what I like to do is I like to take it off of my heat mat because that retains a lot of heat. And if you set it on a cool surface, it helps it to cool down quickly. So now that it is cool, I can go ahead and take my carrier sheet and I can go ahead and just peel it right on up. And I'm monitoring all the edges. Everything has laid down just fine, so I am good to go. So now I can go ahead and put my canvas back together. There are multiple ways that you can do this. You can use hot glue, or you can staple it back together. I personally like to use thumbtacks, so I'm going to go ahead and do it that way, but feel free to put it together however you'd like. So once I have it where I'd like it, I will flip it over. And then I'll just grab the color thumbtack that I would like. I think I'm going to do pink on the back. I like to do something fun on the back with my thumbtacks just to add a little personality. And then I'm going to just press that into the back. So then every time I go to add a tack, I make sure I pull it really, really tightly. And then I press my tack in. So I like to do the opposites. And then, so I'll do the left and right. And then I do the top and the bottom. Flip it over to see how it's looking, which is looking very nice. And then I like to go ahead and do the four corners. You can go ahead and add as many or as little as you would like. This is just how I like to do it. And again, remember to pull very tightly before you press your push pin down so that it stays really nice and tight. The last thing I'm going to do is, now that it is attached with the push pins, is I'm going to take my X-Acto knife or True Control knife, and I'm just going to cut along the edges to release all of the extra canvas, and then it will clean it all up and make it perfect. Once that's done, you can flip it over, and look how cute that is. Another idea is you can also add a little cotton ball or pom-pom to the little tail, which is a really cute idea as well. I'm actually going to leave that part off, but I wanted to mention that in case you wanted to add that. So there is our first sign for Easter and or spring. Let's go ahead and start the next one.
For my next sign, I'm going to use this SVG that I purchased off of Design Bundles. I thought it was really, really cute, and I like it because not only is it pretty for Easter, but you can keep it up for all of spring, so it's really, really fun. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to make a template for the size of my sign. So I am using just a basic square, and then I have a sign that has an interior of 10.5 by 10.5, and then I will go ahead and make this white. Okay, again, I will go ahead and grab my design and go send to front. That way it can go on top of my sign here. And then I will position and size it accordingly. And that actually looks pretty good to my eye. So I might even try, since this is not a perfect square, I might even try to elongate that just a little bit. I like my square signs to have more of a square design. So that looks pretty good to me. Okay, so now what I can do is take my square and hide that because I no longer need it. And then I can go ahead and look at my layers panel and see that this is made up of a lot of layers. So these are all individual. What we want to do is we want to make sure that we attach all of the like colors. So the first thing I'm going to do is ungroup everything, and then I'm going to grab all of the pinks and I will attach those together. Then I'm going to grab all of the gray pieces and I'm going to attach those together. Again, I'm going to use my maker for this project because of the size. You could use the Joy, you would just want to attach them in smaller sections and then put them together on your sign. Go ahead and then say make it. I will go ahead and say make it and then use the premium vinyl setting for these two cuts.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and weed out this adhesive vinyl, and I like to burnish it down before I start weeding just because it really helps everything stay in place. And then I'll go through with my weeding tool and weed out my letters. Okay, so if you get so far and there's a lot of weeded scraps, I like to just take some scissors and cut that off so that it doesn't fall back on my letters and pull them up or ruin them, because that can make a headache in a hurry. So then it cleans it up again and I can continue weeding. Okay, then I can really quickly go through and grab all of the little middle pieces, and I love this font. I think it's so cute. I'm not sure what font it is, obviously, because this is SVG that I purchased, but I love the typewriter style. I just love how that looks. So simple and fun, and then paired with the script that will go below it in the pink is just so cute. And then just rescuing one of the dots to the eyes that accidentally got weeded, and I think I am all good. Okay, so now I will get some transfer tape, and I already have my little pink piece all weeded out. So cute. And we'll grab some transfer tape and get this applied to the sign. Okay, so I have my transfer tape. Again, I'm opting for a clear transfer tape for this project just because it helps get it all lined up on the sign and looks nice. And then I'll just peel away my carrier sheet from the transfer tape. Then bringing my sign in, I have just a little piece here that needs to come off. Okay. I can go ahead and get that centered, just like so, and I'm just going to press down on the transfer tape part, not where the vinyl is, and then lift the sign up. That actually looks really good, so I'm going for it. And then I will take my squeegee scraper tool and just scrape that down, really press it down to get that onto the sign. This sign is from notjustframes.com. I really, really like their products, and I really like the way they ship their stuff that comes really, really nicely packaged. So I would definitely recommend them. You'll see them on my channel from time to time just because I really like how polished their products are, and I love having a sign that's already ready to go too. It just makes for really quick and easy crafting. Okay. Here we go, and then how easy is that? And then you can choose any colors you want. I tend to decorate, you guys know this if you've been around my channel for more than 5 minutes, but I decorate in more neutral and soft tones at my house, so I tend to go with softer tone vinyl or color palettes, but feel free to get vibrant with this or use any colors that you would like. Okay, here we go. Vinyl straight down and there is our last sign. How cute is that? I love how that turned out. Oh my goodness, so sweet.
Okay, then for our final sign, I am going to come over to Shapes once more to make my sign. And again, this is just making the template so that I know how big or small to size the rest of my elements. So I have a width of 11.75 and a height of 3.75 for this final sign. I'll go ahead and make this white. Then I'm going to spell out Easter on some cute tulips. So this is just called Flower. I found it by searching in images, and then I believe it was more squattier like this, so I went ahead and elongated it a little bit just to look a little bit more tulipy, and I thought it just was visually more pleasing. Then I'm also going to use this font. It's called Juniper, I believe. Disregard that it says Arial over in my layers panel. It defaults to saying Arial when I don't have a font downloaded on this computer, and I actually designed this on my laptop and saved it, but bringing it over to my desktop to record. So this is actually a font that I got in a bundle on at Font Bundle, so I'll be sure to link it for you. But again, I believe it's called Juniper. So what I'm going to do is I am going to ungroup my letters so that they all stand alone. And then I am going to, let's see, I'm actually going to bring these down a little bit. And I want to send to front. I want to spell out Easter on my sign, and I'm going to cut out the little letters within these tulips. So I need to first and foremost see how big my tulips need to be. So obviously I need 6, so I'm going to select my tulip. I'm going to click duplicate 5 times to equal 6 tulips, and then I'm just going to start arranging there to see if my sizing is getting close, which it's close, but it's still a little big. So I will go ahead and select all of my tulips, and then I will size those down some more. And we are getting better. Okay, that is looking good. Let me unlock this, see if I want to elongate that. No, I like it. I like it like this. Okay, so now that I know how my tulips should look, what I'm going to do is I will bring them down here, and then I will then take my entire Easter word and then size that all together. So you want to size your letters together so that they all match, and we will say send to front. And I just like to hover over my letters, each of the letter on a tulip, just to make sure I am about the right size, and I think that looks really good. Okay, so now they are all ungrouped from one another, so they all stand alone. So now I can go ahead and place them on my tulips. Now I'm not going to layer them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slice them out of one another. So I'm just going to visually center them. I'm usually pretty good at doing that, and that looks good to me. Once I have it centered on there, I am going to select both of them. So just hovering over both, it selects one E and one tulip, and I will go ahead and say slice. So then that takes away the letter from my tulip, and I'm left with a little outline in there, which looks really nice. So then I will go ahead and repeat that. Again, I just like to visually align that, and then I will say slice. There we go, super cute. And then I will continue slicing out my letters from my tulips. Now you can say anything that you would like. You can say spring or any word that you would like. You could do your last name. That would be fun too. But I really liked this for an Easter idea. Okay. So then slice. And you know what you could do actually for this one is you could delete the whole thing and you could duplicate this just to work smarter. Okay, and then we can do the R. Okay, so that is looking great. So now all these little pieces, I can delete all of them because those are just our slice results or our original letters. Okay, I'm really loving how this looks. So now I just need to decide on the color because I don't want them all to be pink. I think I want to get fun with some spring/Easter colors. Okay, so I think I'm going to start out with a pink, then I'm going to use a powder blue, and these aren't the exact colors, but just so that I can visually see what's happening here. Then I'm going to go for more of a peach, so let's grab an orange and then kind of make that a little bit more peach. And then I am going to do a pretty mint color. And then we'll repeat the pink, and then we will do blue again. I think that will be really pretty. Okay, so I love how this looks. I'm not going to worry about aligning on here because I think, well, let's see, maybe I will. I don't want to waste a bunch of vinyl, but I don't know that I can align this as perfectly as I hope to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all my tulips, then I'm going to click align, and I am going to say align bottom. Then I'm going to say align, and I am going to say distribute horizontally. And that will make sure they're evenly spaced in between. I think that looks really nice. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back piece and hide it. I no longer need that. Then I'm going to take my pink, and I'm going to attach those together. I'll take my blue, and let's see, blue, and I will attach those together. So what that's going to do is attaching those is going to have my Cricut go ahead and cut them with exactly that amount of spacing in between. That way I have two pieces that are lined up really nicely, and then I can base my other pieces in there. Now, it will waste some vinyl in the middle, so don't do this if you're nervous about wasting vinyl. I actually have a lot of both of these colors, and I'd rather get this right and waste a little bit of vinyl than have a headache and get it all not lined up perfectly. So that's your choice, but that's how I'm going to approach it. So now I will go ahead and say make it, and then I will use the premium vinyl setting to cut out all these pieces. So here are all the pieces on the individual mats. So you'll see the S and the T, and then you'll see that because we attached these, that they are going to cut just like this. Okay, so now it will tell me the order to load each color, and I can get cutting. You can do this on any cutting machine because of the size.
Okay, so this is the sign I'm using. I got this from Hobby Lobby quite a while ago, back when we were shopping in person, which was, oh my goodness, over a year ago. So I will go ahead, it has a ceramic tile in the middle, and so I'm going to go ahead and prep the surface with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. It had a little gunk on there anyway, so this will really help the vinyl to stick super nicely, plus it cleans it up and removes any dust, grime, or oils that were on the surface. So I will go ahead and let that dry and just set that there, and then we will weed out our little letters, which are our tulips. So I have all my little pieces. So remember, we are leaving the tulip and weeding out the letter in the middle. So we will grab the little letter just like so. Whoops. There we go. So we have an S, and then we have our T. Look at these beautiful spring colors. We are beginning to hear birds chirping in the morning, which is so exciting. It's getting everybody just so excited for a new season. Okay, and then remember we have our A and our R, but here is a little trick if you are nervous about wasting vinyl. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we're still going to be able to use the attach feature to take advantage of the spacing, but without wasting vinyl. So what you're going to do is take your True Control knife or X-Acto knife, and you are going to make sure that the connection stays at the top and the bottom, but you can cut out this center part. So then you can still have some vinyl to save, and you didn't waste it, or at least all of it. So this is still a very substantial amount of vinyl that you can put in your scrap bin, and you are still able to have your spacing with your letters there. So let me do that a little bit more. That is one trick that I like to do. It makes me feel less guilty, but it also lets me take advantage of the spacing that I really want. And also be sure to check out your scrap bin, because these are such small pieces, so you can use just little scraps to bring this sign together. Okay, so you see that they're still attached because we had that top and bottom piece still attaching them, but we have some vinyl saved. Make sure you do that before you weed, because once you weed it, then it's gone. So there is our A and our R. We can almost even start just aligning these, and we'll do the same with our pink piece. So again, leaving the top and bottom attached, but taking out the middle to save. I actually grabbed this piece of pink out of my scraps, so I saved scraps from scraps. So I'm not feeling guilty at all for this project. Okay, so now we are good to go. So we can now grab some transfer tape and start getting everything on our sign. Okay, so what we're going to do here is take our sign, and then I like to kind of get everything aligned before I put everything down just to kind of see if I'm getting a good idea for where everything is going to go. And I think I do. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to take a piece of transfer tape, and I'm just going to kind of visually remember where that is there for how much space to leave. So I'll take my transfer tape and put that on my vinyl. Then I'll grab a scraper tool. Let me scrape down the front first. I'm going to do this whole project with one piece of transfer tape just to save material and because it's totally possible. So I'm going to, whoops, let me get that in frame. Scrape this down and then peel away my extras here. Okay, so then I can take my sign and line up my little pieces. So there we go. Just go ahead and scrape those down just like so and peel away my transfer tape, leaving my first two pieces on my sign. Okay, now I will go ahead and do the other long piece that's already attached together. Place that same transfer tape down and scrape down. Let me know if you've started crafting for Easter or spring yet. It's a nice way to just change up decor, and I love spring. It's just such a refreshing season. Okay. And we will do the same. Just line them up. Good. Scrape down. Perfect. And then what I can do is let's do the S, and I'll just trim down my transfer tape to still use the same piece. And scrape that down. And then we have one left. Okay, and I am so proud of myself because I think this has lined up so well. And I just love how it's looking. You know what though? I think it's either me looking at it too long or I designed this kind of crazily, but these are starting to look like broken Easter eggs at the top. Like I expect like a little chick to pop out at this point. Let me know if anyone else is having that little trick on their eye. They're supposed to be tulips, but they kind of look like little Easter eggs that have a crack on top. So you know what? That's actually kind of perfect. So it can be whatever your eye beholds, but there is our little Easter sign. How cute is that? Okay, so here are the final 3 signs. I love how they look, and I can't wait to find little places for them around the house. And it's just so fun to decorate for spring and Easter. So let me know if you have a favorite that we did here today, and I hope you recreate one of these. All right, everyone, have a wonderful spring and happy Easter.